Good afternoon, students. This is Dr. Schafer, and I'm making this video for you on Sunday evening. We're about to begin week 2 of the semester, and what I wanted to do was to make a short video to provide to you at the beginning of the semester to give you some tips about what I think you could do to maximize your chances of success in this class. So let me do this first of all by talking a little bit about how the grade is determined in this class. What you should always do at the beginning of the semester for any class that you take is look carefully at the syllabus and to check how the grade is determined for that class. So in other words, you want to figure out for yourself how much of the grade is going to come from writing assignments, how much of the grade is going to come from quizzes, how much from tests, etc. If you do that for this class, for grade books and philosophy, you'll see something very interesting, and you need to know this. You'll see that the grade is determined by 3 different categories. First of all, there's a critical essay, which you're going to write at the end of the semester. That counts 30%, fairly significant percentage, right? Secondly, your discussion board posts over the course of the semester, taken together, will count for 20% of your grade. And that leaves 50% of the grade for this class is going to come from the blog posts that you're going to write for this class. So the blog posts, in my mind, are a kind of substitute for quizzes and tests for this class. They are relatively short but formal writing assignments. Well, I'll give you a prompt and you will need to respond to that prompt, and I will grade what you've written using the rubric, the blog post grading rubric, which you should look at if you haven't done so yet, to get a sense of what I'm looking for there. So you may say to yourself, okay, in order to succeed in this class, I need to do well on the blog posts. Definitely, that is definitely true. What is the best thing that you can do to prepare yourself to write effective blog posts? And my answer to that question, and what I want to spend the rest of this short video talking about, is to say that you need to engage as much as possible and to take as seriously as possible the discussion board. Here's what you could do with the discussion board, but you shouldn't, and I highly recommend that you don't do this. What you could do is, for every new discussion board forum, which essentially will be a new forum for every text that we take up in this class, you could simply go in and write your minimum of 2 discussion board posts. And if you did that, and if each post was 4 sentences long, which is the minimum, 8 sentences total, 2 posts, 4 sentences each, 8 sentences total. And if you got that in on time, and if you did that for every discussion board forum, you would get a full credit at the end of the semester. You would get that full 20% of the points. But what you wouldn't do, what you wouldn't get is you wouldn't get the learning experience from participating in a more vigorous, in a more interested and consistent way in the discussion board. What I recommend that you do is to post early and often in the discussion board. If you post early, chances of my responding to your post are higher. If you wait to the last minute, in all likelihood, you're not going to get a response from me. I recommend that you look at what your classmates have written, and you'll be able to figure out pretty quickly who is good at writing excellent discussion board posts, and then you can start to look for those students because you might learn things from them. The main thing that I think you ought to look for is my comments in the various discussion board threads. So what I'm going to try to do as much as possible is to engage with as many students as possible on the discussion board. I'm going to respond to the posts that you've made, and I'm going to try to give praise where praise is due, and I'm going to try to give critical feedback where critical feedback is due. And so if you look at my posts, and you'll be able to see when I have heaped praise on a particular post, and you should be able to see why I've heaped praise on a particular post. And I really like to do that. I like to give credit where credit is due. And if someone has made a very insightful, clear, well-written, accurate, reflective post, then I want to say that. And then if you read that, then you can say to yourself, well, look, here's a model for how to do the kind of writing that probably translates to the blog post writing. And you want to have that information. You want to have that understanding so that you can write the best blog posts possible. So please engage early and often. Don't write as many posts as you can. I know that you've got other class, obviously, but even if you only write your 2 minimum posts per discussion board forum, you should at least check what other people are saying in the forum. You certainly might learn something from what your classmates have said. And look also for the comments that I've made, because I'm going to try to make my comments as instructive as possible so that you can figure out what works and what doesn't in terms of philosophical writing. And then you can take that insight and take that knowledge and use it when you make your blog posts, okay? One thing that you will begin to see once we get a little bit further into this semester is that I will often select topics for your blog post writing that you have already written on in the discussion board. So in that sense, the discussion board is kind of like a preparation, practice writing for the more serious writing, the graded writing that you'll do and turn in for the blogs. Okay? I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, post your questions on the discussion board. There are some forums that I have made available for any questions about this class. You can also, of course, always send me an email, or you can stop by and visit me in my office hours. Okay, folks, I hope you had a great first week of the semester, and I hope the next 14 weeks are equally good. I am signing off for now. I'll see you in cyberspace.